Welcome to Mike's Mr. October and More. Wishing everyone a happy Veterans Day, past and present, who served or serve our beautiful, great country of ours. So I thought I'd do a little episode on my family's history in the military and MLB players that were in World War One in Korea. It's just so numerous to mention, but I have a few that I pulled out that I had autographed. So I thought I'd show it to you. So first I got to show you my family history. The first one was my fourth great grandfather, and it was Private George Snell Hayes, and he was at the Battle of Saratoga from September 8th to November 30th, 1777, where the Americans defeated the British and was a big turning point in the American Revolution. He was a private in Captain McDuffie's company under Colonel Evans' regiment from September 8th to November 30th, 1777. And the application years ago was approved with the Sons of the American Revolution. And that's one of many of my fourth and fifth great-grandfathers that were in the American Revolution. So the battle was from September 19th to October 7th, 1777. So next up at bat, I'm going to show is my third great-grandfather, who was in the War of 1812. So I'm going to turn around the camera and I'm going to show you some other interesting stuff. So let's take a look-see. So here you're looking at a grave of my third great-grandfather, Lieutenant Othniel, and my family's from Vermont, so he formed a band of soldiers to go to fight at the Battle of Plattsburgh, which was in September of 1814. And here's written testimony from my third great-grandfather that he was at the battle and some other people that were with him. And here is the actual signature of my third great-grandfather. And he received a land lease of approximately 150 acres for his participation. And if you're interested, there's some great books. I've read numerous books on the War of 1812. The Forgotten War. And I just want to read you this real interesting passage. Lieutenant Othniel was in Captain Elias Key's company of Stockbridge, Vermont, entered service in September of 1814. This company was organized at Middlebury, Vermont, and Othniel collected a company of men on this side of the state and started for Middlebury. At the top of the mountain, there was a toll gate, and the keeper said that the men could not go through unless they paid toll. So Lieutenant Othniel ordered the men to chop down the toll and give it to the British. Then the keeper relented and let the men pass. So that's a passage that my grandfather received. It was handed down from generation to generation in my family. Again, here is my grandfather's grave in the family burial plot up in Vermont. We got 5 generations, including my father, all the way to my third great-grandfather. And then next I would show you is my grandmother's older sister. She was a nurse in World War I, Ethel Anderson, and she was born in 1891, and she went to France in July of 1918, and she was at base hospital number 44. She never married, but she was a nurse her whole life. I guess maybe that's why my daughter's a nurse, who knows. So thank you, Aunt Ethel, being a nurse in World War I and helping all the wounded. And then here is my great uncle, the younger brother to Ethel, Uncle Ralph, he was in World War One and World War Two. He was a captain, and his service was in the Philippines. And the story goes in World War One, he was in a foxhole in France, and his superior officer came and told him to get out. There was a military barrage, and when you know it, a shell hit the foxhole, and the commanding officer got killed. And here is his fruit salad from World War One and Two. Note the Silver Star he received from World War One. He also, if you note, this is the Croix de Guerriere for bravery from the French, and the rest are from the Philippines and all that kind of stuff. I thought I'd show that to you. So, again, thank you, Uncle Ralph. He died in his mid-50s. Actually, that's where he met his wife in the Philippines. Next one, I'm going to show you my wife's father, and that's Andy. And there you go, Andy. Thank you very much for your service. Appreciate it. So Andy was in the U.S. Army from 1943 to 1945. He was in the 11th Infantry in the 5th Infantry Division. And he was in numerous countries: Greenland, Iceland, France, Belgium, Czechoslovakia, England, Austria. He was in Poland and Germany, and he served under General George S. Patton. So thank you again, Andy, for your service. Appreciate it. Actually, I made years ago a shadow box for my wife of Andy's for his service to this country. And he, during that winter, got a little bit of frostbite. Anyway, next one is going to be somebody my father served with. You may know his father very well, but this is General George S. Patton the Fourth. Later became a 2-star general. My father served with him. Have a picture of my father and General Patton together, and my father is right there. It's hard to see with the glare. And then General Patton is right there. At that time, he was a major. They served together with the 11th Armored Cav in Germany, 1960 to 63. And I got to show you another picture later, but then also my father served in Vietnam twice. Here's a picture of my father. Here he is again. Note the APC in the background. This is my favorite picture of my father. Calling in on a search and destroy mission. December 11th, 1965, in Ho Dak Han, and in the Quang Tri province, 2nd Infantry Regiment, Central Headquarters, 1st Tank Troop, Dang Ha. My father's original writing. Helped reach objective number 4, negative enemy contact at this time. Time over. Okay. And then here's the next one. And this is my father here at his retirement with General Kelly, and they served together back with the 11th Army Cav with General Patton. He later became a 3-star general, and if you ever watched the first Iraq War, he is doing all the press conferences. Became a 3-star general. Let me see if I have, a picture of him. Yes, here he is. General Kelly, not the fruit salad, 3-star general. served at the Pentagon. Okay, so I'm going to show you some baseball players that served in our military. So let's turn around the camera again and let's take a look-see. And as you can see, the first one is Ralph Kiner, and he was a Navy pilot in World War II. Next one is the Scooter. I'm never good at this, so what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of that one, and we're going to put this here. Yeah. The Scooter, he was in the Navy for 3 years. And then next one is Duke Snider. He's a Navy and a submarine. Next one is Monte Irvin. He was in the U.S. Army in Europe. And next one is Jerry Coleman. He was in the United States Marine Corps as a pilot, and get this, he saw combat in World War II in Korea, and he retired as a lieutenant colonel, a light colonel. Never knew that. Next one, Warren Spahn. He was in the U.S. Army. Received a Bronze Star and Purple Heart, and he participated in the Battle of the Bulge. And here's the Major, Ralph Houk. He was also at the Battle of the Bulge and received the Bronze Star with Oakley Custer, Purple Heart, and he was also at the Battle of Bastogne, deliver a message, and loosely something like he was tasked to deliver a message to the encircled Americans at Bastogne, and if he got captured by the Germans, he was told to like eat it or burn the instructions, orders to the beleaguered American troops at that time. And the last one I'm going to show you, and I do have an autograph of his, but it's up on the wall, but Yogi Berra. I don't have a playing days card when he was with the Yankees, but he was in the Navy. He received a Purple Heart, and he participated at D-Day. So we got to give these guys a thumbs up, one or two. Kudos to all those MLB players and all those that unfortunately I can't show. I don't have all the baseball cards, but thank you for your service, everyone. MLB, thank you for all my family members and my wife's father, Andy. So thank you again, and also past and present. And if you like, give me 1 or 2 thumbs up. Any comments? I answer all comments. And if you're passing through, join, more the merrier. Be greatly appreciated, and subscribe. Once again, I'm just showing you all the autos I have of these players. And thanks again for watching Mike's Mr. October. And here's my wife's father's shadow box I made for his service in World War II. And there's his medals, and he had a Bronze Star with 2 Oakley clusters. And there's the 5th Infantry up there. My father served with the 5th Infantry on the DMZ in Vietnam, mechanized. But anyways, I'm not going to get into the medals, but you can look them up. And there's Andy with a family member, meeting in Czechoslovakia. That's actually my wife's mother's oldest brother, who was in World War II, Uncle Sal. Anyways, and there's my wife's mother. So anyways, thanks again, and I hope you enjoyed this episode.